seat.
Hey, easy.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just keeping you honest.
All right. Can we get a roll call, Madam Auditor?
Councilmember Davis?
Here.
Councilmember Graham?
Here.
Councilmember Justin?
Here.
Councilmember Larson? Councilmember Paparad?
Here.
Councilmember Kim?
Here.
And Councilmember Webb.
I am present and accounted for.
All right. So we have a quorum, and we get to start second reading with the sheriff. We figured we'd bring out the big guns to start off the second reading. So we've got the Sheriff General Fund to begin festivities. So, and you guys should all have the sheriff's letters included. The sheriff did include some, his increases in the budget already and did some explanation for us. So, to go right away, Dan, unless you want to have any conversations prior to getting going from last meeting that we had, we basically have no money. We have to cut like $4 million.
So, that brings up an interesting point. So, did we make any decisions at the last meeting about how we're going to handle salaries, or did we get into that? I wasn't there. So, are we going to do it at the end if there's money, or are we going to, I mean, that's normally how we do it.
We did not make any decisions at all. We had a general conversation of kind of where we were at. It kind of led into our auditor, Madam Auditor, Vicki Urbanek over there telling us she thinks
I know where
that
she is.
we could increase the general fund budget by, around $1 million. It was a little over that until some additionals have been rolling in for the rest of the year from the auditor, the clerk and the sheriff, so she's had to cut what she thinks we can get. So right now we're down to about $1 million. And she did pass out the scenario early on so we can kind of have that conversation, the raise scenario. And I guess just to put it in perspective, I think a 2% raise for all employees is a little over $500,000.
What's 3%, Vicki?
756, 640. So
So-
757.
So can I ask a quick question? So we have $1 million of potential increase to the general fund.
Correct.
So have you taken into consideration any other kind of hits that we might take from this COVID with the decrease to income tax?
Let's go down by half, you said.
So when you indicated the $1 million, had you already sort of interpolated that scenario into it?
Those are based on the projections that we have right now, yes, for
Awesome.
the general fund.
But what kind of threw us, Dan, was, Lit's collected, but I thought it's not, we don't get that money for 2 years or whatever, but they're already cutting Lit next year by, she says, like, they're estimating a $500,000 cut to Lit.
Right.
So, and we're already budgeting over $1 million into our reserves in Lit. Is that correct? Somewhere over $1 million? What we bring in versus what we budgeted last year.
Well, part of that, isn't part of that our revenue bond payment?
Yes, we're paying our bond out of that, amongst other things. So, Tiffany, I know I put you on the spot, and I apologize. Real fast. So, in 2019, we budgeted $5.8 million. They spent $5.5 million in 2019. 2020, what was the Lit budget that was approved? $6.6 million.
How much have they spent? I'm sorry, I can't.
4.1.
4.1. Do you know, and this is where I apologize, I put you on the spot, do you know why they increased that from 5.8 to 6.6?
Do we have insurance in there or something? Did we increase the insurance to that?
What was our thinking to approve, increasing it by, what, $800,000 roughly? Is that what I'm gathering?
I'm sorry.
Moving the election equipment into lit.
That's why we put you all at the end.
Yeah, whatever.
Let it change.
Oh, okay,
So we
so,
put the election equipment into lit.
Yeah.
Did you let her know that I asked it? And how much was that?
1.8.
so it was more of a one-time expenditure then? Okay. Yeah, I know she sent, video chat, working off. Well, this was some of the,
Well, just tell us, we don't want to have to dig through papers, so if you know the answer, just yell it out.
oh,
Feel free to just yell the answer out if you know it.
We have to look at the commissioner's split budget.
so the point, Dan, is if they weren't just a capital project, why we increased it, and we needed that much money, and they're already cutting lit, where's that gonna be filled in at? To Bob?
So what is our projected lit for 2021? Let's start with that, or continue with that. I missed the start.
In terms of revenue,
Yeah.
I believe that the state number is at 5.2 million.
All right.
Let me double check. Lit wasn't on my radar screen.
I know, we threw it on you, but I think it needs to be part of the conversation.
What do we have left in unallocated lit?
The latest estimate is just over 2 million
Okay,
for this year.
okay. Got it. Okay.
So if we're bringing in 5.2 million, and we budgeted in 2019 5.8 million, you know, possibly we're already short $600,000 in lit. I knew they do have a balance they can
Carry forward.
budget into, but
They've not always spent the entire amount we budgeted. We have finished the year with lit projects not done, and
so,
the fact of the matter is, if there's not enough money, then some of those projects don't happen.
there's not a whole lot of projects, and that's what I was quickly trying to look over. I mean, we got medical that comes out of there, longevity, a lot of, FICA per for employees. There is facilities out of there, there's the bond payment out of there.
Bond payment
Not a
out
whole
there.
lot of fat that comes out of lit. So,
Well, so I think the clear answer is that we don't take the deep dive into the salaries till we get through the second readings. What do you guys
Yep.
think about that idea?
Yeah, that's what,
well, so then that goes, I mean, we can just jump right in, I think that's a good segue then, because the sheriff's increasing his salary. Oh, his own salary, so we can throw that right out.
Yeah, you were pretty funny.
So, let's just dive in, you guys, and have a conversation whenever we feel it, but he does have salaries increased.
Take them out for now.
What's that?
Take the salary, any
Well,
amount.
there's a notation here that says that it's the annual pay adjustment by the Supreme Court. I mean, are we required, absolutely required to make that increase? Unless we want to take it up with the Supreme Court of Indiana?
Oh, you do.
I said we, unless
Okay,
we.
okay, good.
So,
I think if it's mandatory, we should,
If it's mandated, it's mandated.
yeah, we should do it, because that will give us
Yeah.
the true bottom line.
Mike's laughing.
No, if it's mandated, it's mandated. I don't disagree with that.
All right, let's move on.
Well said, Mike.
Next line item, let's increase it. Hourly stayed the same. Looks like you got overtime that is up to $20,000. There's a note on the side there that's the OT that will be reimbursed to the general fund, HIDA, DEA, and the other acronym.
Most of it.
So if we just talk about the increases then, Jeremy.
Yeah. So we got
Body armor,
well, there's $20,000 in overtime. There's an increase there, Dan.
right.
So, and-
That's, you want me to explain?
yes, please.
That's to cover, the agencies have offered more for the guys so they can work more. It's reimbursed. They reimburse us every month. We go after it, and they give us all back. So basically, this is just something to hold, so if they go higher than what we originally budgeted for, then we have the money in there to pay them, but it does come back all year long.
So, well, Vicky's coming. So do we want to show that as an increase to the general fund?
You shouldn't.
You wash back out?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, if, I mean, I can come back next year if it happens. I mean, that's fine. I was just trying to be
Yeah,
proactive.
I don't want to inflate to hit the general fund if we're
That's
thinking
fine.
that the idea is
Yeah.
it's going to be a pass-through.
How far behind are they in reimbursement?
Pardon?
How far behind? If you turn in a...
They're at least a month behind because we
Okay, so all we
bill
gotta
out.
cover is a month.
Yeah, they
So if we
cover,
could squeeze, yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
bill it monthly.
Yeah,
And if something happens and we go over because of their increase, I can come back during the
Yeah.
year because it's always refunded.
Yeah.
They pay, they're pretty good.
The beginning of this year, we got all for December of last
So
year.
let's take that 120 back down to 100. Can you guys do that, or do we need?
Yep,
All right, Matt?
yep.
Did we lose Vicki? Is she coming back at all?
Shouldn't have yelled at her.
All right, so we'll continue down, then you guys see an increase in uniform and clothing to cover body armor vests, which expire in 2021.
Yes, we have 8 of them expiring, 2 of them not until September, the rest of them are expiring in January. And you asked us to come back and tell you, you know, when they were coming, instead of waiting.
So I know the commissioners used to pay, didn't they used to?
But then they gave it to you. But can I have a suggestion?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why,
Yeah.
and I talked to Edie about this, and I don't know if she liked it. Why can't we take that money out of a line item that we have with our Fed money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the jail. The
Yeah.
Fed money is
Federal
for,
deals.
is for the,
Agreed?
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. If we can get an additional, I don't know if you want to do that,
it's
or I
a,
could...
it'll be a transfer, right?
No, it won't be a transfer. I mean, we'd have to transfer out another line item. We'd have to have a new, I don't think I have uniforms in,
Vicki, do you understand what we're talking about here?
Came in the middle of it.
We're talking about the 22,200, the body armor.
And he's talking about taking out of the, where we get paid for the federal inmates, I don't know.
we could take
12, 20,
out of
33?
9601,
Wait, I don't-
9601,
Oh, okay.
the Fed money. We need 2 of them at the end of the year in September. The other ones are January. I mean, we could try to purchase them if we could I could put it on the agenda for the council for this next month and pay for those ahead of time because that'd only be a month.
How much are they?
And then I would have to come back in September,
$1,000
or
apiece.
put a, it is,
Well,
yeah,
Basically, they're saying though, and that it's gonna be an additional or transfer.
it'll have to be an
If it's
additional.
an additional, then, I mean, we're cutting into one way or another.
Not necessarily.
Hey, Dan?
no, it's a line, we have the money in the
Yeah.
line item.
It's federal.
What is that, in the
Yes.
general fund?
Well, you guys, I don't think it is, but you guys have always called it the general fund, but it,
Oh, I see.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're talking about
Jeremy's right.
9601.
If Dan, this is a side note, if Witten would buy one, get their name engraved on the back, you could write it off as advertising,
Oh.
and get a donation.
Does that work for
There you
people?
go.
Well, I don't know, if down that road, you know, you just got to engrave the name in the back a little bit. Donate it by, or...
When you guys bought I remember, was it last year or the year before, you bought a large amount at one time, and then I think the discussion was in the direction of, once we catch up, let's budget whatever the replacements are
Right.
every year.
Right.
We're gonna do that.
So this doesn't reflect what you think you
This
need
is the
every
people in the
year?
jail.
No, this is the sheriff,
Oh, the new guys?
No, not new guys, it's the sheriffs that are expiring. The jail, yeah, the new guys are already done. We have purchased for the new guys. This is for the ones that are expiring next year. So we're trying to keep up and, you know, not do like what we did. But, I mean, when they all got bought at the same time, they all expire at the same time. How do you do that? Who do you say your vest is going to go for 4 more months, but how do you do that? How do you tell one
Somebody just gets a
officer?
newer one earlier, not the other
Well,
one.
The other guy just,
Well, that's the problem. And, you know, my opinion, it's only my opinion, is I think it's kind of a hype, but we're stuck with it because they expire. You know, a shield,
Yeah, we don't want to, have that
Yeah.
discussion, and,
right.
How much of the 40,000 that we budgeted for this year, how much have we expended that already
Uniforms?
for the uniform and clothing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be zero.
$34,546, Mike.
$5,000.
How much did we already spend on
Yeah.
the vest?
Oh, on vest, we just put almost $50,000 in that,
We already spent 50,000.
yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I'm trying to look at that number, what annual, every year.
Oh, what you think we
Well,
would,
you know, to stay
yeah.
ahead of the game and, yeah. I mean, so we can truly budget. Now,
Oh,
if there's a,
well, yeah, in 2001, we need 8, 2022, we need 5, 2023, we need 10, 24, 20, 25, 50. So we're kind of round again, because basically
the large
those
chunk of 50.
50 ones that we bought are going to expire.
So what do you guys want to do? Should we keep it at 40,000, or do we go with the 48,880?
Let's, Dan, if you guys don't mind, look back up to the sheriff here and about these federal funds that are in the general fund. They're in the general fund. Right, these two? No?
No.
Never ends good.
Never ends good?
I mean, there's money there, but you guys consider it the general fund.
It
So, like-
generates, I don't have the figures, but I was working on that.
So, the history is that the former sheriff came to us and said, will you absorb this into the general fund? I said, I don't think that's a great idea, Sheriff. And he said the funds were running short, and so he was concerned about the shortfall. And I said, well, that seems okay, we only get the shortfall, but when it starts making money again, we don't want you to come back and say, I changed my mind. And he said, it's not coming back.
Well, the problem is I came back and
No, way before he came back, and right after he gave it up, it went sky high, and I've got all the proof, because I've kept track of it. It's like a thorn in my side that happened.
I
It should have
understand.
never happened, and that wasn't the reason.
So the thought is, so from my perspective, I understand where you're coming from, but you have to understand that it wasn't our idea.
Oh, I know.
Now, we're clear.
Bob?
Clear on that.
Can I ask a dumb question? Educate me. Do the jailers wear vests?
Yes, some of them do, not all of them.
The court security,
Transport.
security transports, not when they're working in the jail.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna make another dumb statement. Can the 3-year-old vest for the line officer be handed down? Because in transport, the guy probably doesn't have a gun, I hope.
Oh, they have guns.
They have guns.
No, the guy who's hauling doesn't have a gun.
No, but the guy that's probably trying to take over the thing could have a gun.
Well, I don't know, I didn't know if we could.
Well, we've tried to pass them down.
Don't approach.
The sizes
We have
are
a 3-year-old
made.
vest.
I mean, it's hard to,
Well,
you know, you
yeah.
gotta get the right size person for the next vest.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
always happen.
Yeah, that
you
makes,
know.
I don't know, a little
Yeah.
shot in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, we've done some of that transferring.
Well, you guys, what's your pleasure on the additional $8,888 for vests?
I'll approve it, I'll make a motion.
Well, I don't think we need a motion.
Well, I think we gotta buy vests, I mean, that's,
So we'll leave it in there.
Yeah.
So,
we're buying cameras.
Ammunition, any
Yeah.
wiggle
all right,
room.
move down, we got ammunition, there's an increase in $5,000 because I think Dan bought up all the ammo in the country.
Oh, no.
There is increased prices
He's trying
in that,
to.
plus we have, you
Yeah.
know, it's something that we have to have. It was that time when that happened also, or shortly after that with the Fed, that same person came to you and said, oh, we don't need this much money. Same scenario. And we've
And
been
it's been a
struggling
struggle.
ever since.
It's been a struggle.
Okay.
So,
And just for the record, I tried to track the federal funds and be kind to the sheriff's department.
Oh, I know. And I do track them. I know
So
them.
I.
From day
I tried to
one.
make you guys not.
From day one.
Yeah.
so go down, other service and charges, looks like an increase in the $10,000 returning fugitives.
That's actually the original budget from the prosecutors,
Right.
that it came to us partially that first year because they had spent some money, and then the next year we put it in the budget, but when it got rolled back, I didn't catch it, that it didn't go in, so this is just trying to get it back.
Mr. President Rivas, do we want to touch on training and ed, or wait till we get clarification?
Let's touch on it briefly, training and education. There's going to be a growing discussion beginning on training and education because of, I know Vicki doesn't want to talk about it yet, but if you guys remember, we got into a discussion with the recorder because he's got $900,000 in in his perpetuation fund. But when he collects that fee by statute, some of that money has to go to different budgets, and one of those budgets or line items is elected official training in education, and Vicki found out we've got $300,000 sitting in that fund right now for elected officials or their designee for training and education. So she's going to get some clarification on that, but I think there's probably places in the general fund where we might be able to move training that out and start using up that $300,000.
The
That would
question,
only apply to him.
Sheriff or his designee, I believe,
Or-
they're going to get clarification on that,
That's
you
what
know.
we're getting as clarification.
Yeah, that'd be great.
it seems to be a broad category, and we're trying to pin it down on what it could be used for.
Well,
Is that,
I-
Vicki, is that 1217? Is that the fund we're talking about?
No.
No.
Training and ed, no.
No, I'm talking about your fund report.
No, it wouldn't be 12 cents.
What's the-
I was looking at your fund report you gave him, the fund balance report, he must be
Is
looking
that
at.
1217?
No, 1217 is a well, wait a
That's an old
minute,
fund.
maybe it's a
Yeah.
It says elected officials training.
That's one that's gone.
Federal, that's
Yeah.
the federal DOC, 1217.
Yeah, that is,
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we could use that for the sheriff's training in ed, we would deduct it out of this budget, then use that one up.
Yeah, we do a lot of training, and we're always out,
Yeah.
always out. of
Well, we gotta find out if it applies, that's,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't we not do anything with that right this second, and figure out what we can do?
Yeah,
I like that idea.
but yeah, it was just
Yeah.
brought
we
up.
can always put it back, because Harold said he'd have the answer in 48 hours.
So, well, I think there's going to be a number, because it's probably only going to be applied to elected officials, or maybe a designee, maybe probably a deputy or some sort down the line.
Right.
That we could use it for. I don't think we're going to be able to get it in part of it's
Not
training
good.
officers.
Yeah, I mean,
and
our
stuff
training's
like that.
gone, we have other funds that we use, you know.
So, but it was good to bring up, because we're going to look into that. That might be
Yeah,
a
that would
place
be
to
great.
save some money in the general fund and burn down that cash balance there. So, maintenance agreements, an increase in $13,579 there.
That's all the maintenance, Tiburon, that's our CAD system.
Some of that's what I believe we're switching over, aren't we?
Well, I don't know when that's going to be effective, it's gonna be like really high, so.
Really high, that's not what we were told.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, they've told us it's gonna go up
Yeah.
90-some thousand bucks just for us.
Wow.
That's gonna be over 100,000 for us.
So we need to cut 90,000 somewhere out of your budget?
Nope.
I mean,
Nope.
take it out of Motorola's cut.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys want, I mean, maintenance agreements, some of the things we're not gonna be able to control,
Right.
Right.
So,
What's equipment rentals?
Is the body cams and car cameras? So where is that now?
Yeah, that's what.
We've been processing that, we did it for the first, we did half, and half of it, we did two of half, and then we did it for 2 more years after that. You were supposed to take it after the 3rd year, we did 1 more year.
So
Out of our,
currently, where's it coming from?
it's coming from our forfeiture fund.
yeah, I briefly remember the discussion.
I
It
do
was
too.
covered. When,
How's the forfeiture fund now?
Good. But it's, you know, we've been spending it on all of that. We've paid for most of all of it out of that fund.
How much is in there now?
what do you got, 103,000?
103, it looks like. And we've been processing all of that, besides the vet.
Right, so,
That fund, we've been, pardon? Yeah, the large ticket items we've been spending out of there.
like what kind of budget such the rest?
Well, our camera system,
Well,
it's $500,000, or $400,000.
Do you have the, can you
What
pull up,
device?
Loud, so we can take a look at it, and I can tell you what it is?
I'm just curious, I mean, it's not...
No, the body camera, or, but, that's those,
Yeah.
we paid for that. And then some of the That's the laser.
The laser they're training on now.
That's the best. Yeah, but we can. Mhm.
So moving forward, is this the yearly cost
Yep.
of
Forever.
the cars and the body cam?
Whatever, you understand, it's like a maintenance agreement. Plus, every 3 years, they will replace the body camera and the car camera.
I thought the commissioner said they were gonna pick this up with a non-general fund budget. That's what I thought.
That sounds familiar to me too, and if that's not the case, I mean, that certainly would be a consideration to see if they would consider picking it up.
Yeah, I just don't, it seems like when we had that conversation, but it's been so long, I don't remember.
Say that they pay for this.
I'm trying to remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly, but I just seem to remember.
Is that you?
Yeah. It's gonna bark again.
Not my dog.
I've got the
All right,
sound on.
is there, I mean, I'm not sure we can move that out right now, guys, but
Oh, I don't know
Pull
about
that out as pending?
Yeah,
you
we
could.
could.
Yep.
And then
Mark
I'll
it
talk
on
to
the
the
sheet
commissioners and
that
see what,
We have to address.
Because we paid an extra year.
yeah.
After the agreement, we paid an extra year. Plus, we paid for over half of it, and then we paid 2 more
I'd like to
payments.
pull it out and
Right.
have a conversation with the commissioners.
Address it.
There's going to be a delicate balance when we're talking about what's left in the general fund.
We're
And
trying to
that
figure
would be
out
one of
raise
those
money.
issues where desperately needed, we want it to be funded somehow, some way, and it may or may not be out of the general fund.
I do remember though, you guys said you would pay for them and then we would take it over in the general fund.
You
I
bought us a
remember
couple
that.
years. We did
It's
that,
just-
so-
How we're
We
gonna
bought
do it.
half of it, and then we paid 2 more years,
Right.
2 or 3 more years.
Time flies. I say we take that out and
Right, address it.
revisit it if we
Yep.
need to. But I think, well, we'll revisit it when we...
Bob?
I'm going to talk to the commissioners.
All right, so,
Take that out.
I'm thinking, yes, possibly the commissioners did, and I agreed to put it in, to control it and make sure it got paid properly.
Right.
I had no problem with paying it out of, but it had to go to the general fund in order for me to do that, because I can't pay for.
Yes, we'll figure that out.
so we'll,
Right.
It's not going to get lost in the shuffle. I don't want to load things into the general fund that we didn't intend to do that. It must be happening,
Right.
you know, if we're trying to hold the line on our new money.
so what's the number there then? 5, after those adjustments? $5,938,310.
What is it?
$5,938,310.
That's about a 40... How much of an increase is that then?
What's that, where's it at? What's the increase, 42,455?
455.
Awesome.
So, there's a number for you.
I'll make a motion to approve on second reading that number.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to approve this on second reading. Do we do a roll call or?
Unless it's real controversial, I'm going to put people on the spot.
All right, so with the new number.
Maybe this is it.
This is it? All in favor of the new $5,938,310, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There's the general fund number and second reading.
Boy,
Moving on.
one down.
One down, that was a big one. Moving to accident report. So is there any increases? It looks like there is. Training and education.
Uh-huh.
What do you usually, what training and education are you using? Accident reconstruction cert?
Yeah. Well, we have software for accident reconstruction also.
So you-
So, and then
Where'd you used to pay for that?
out of the general fund. When they went to classes, we paid for it out of there, but
So
we're
why
running
would you-
out of money.
Why was it zero last year for the training and accident report?
Because
So
we
we're
didn't
going
have
from
it.
0 to
Is this a
5,000.
new line or a new,
So what did you do last year with the how did you pay for the 5,000 last year? Is this a new
No.
expense?
No, we had it, this is just accident reconstruction training,
Which is accident reconstruction cert, which I'm thinking has...
certification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, what did you do in 2020 when there was zero in that line item?
We paid for it out of general fund,
Okay.
so we're moving it to
We're moving
this
it
fund
over
so
here.
we can use,
I just want to make sure that, my question, I guess, was, is this something new, or is this something we're just moving?
no, I think it's new. It's in the wrong column, that's why I'm...
And it's a low amount that you're budgeting, and what are you guys collecting? I mean, that's sustainable out of,
They got $104,000 in it right now.
where's it? Look at Bob, I love it, he's got the report. Bob, we got Bob and we got Vicki.
Well, I mean, this isn't coming out of the general fund.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
so,
And you
yeah,
got $104,000 in there, Bob?
is what it says. But you-
Perfect. So there's a new number there, $10,000 for 1101 accident report.
Where's he?
5,000.
Five.
What am I missing?
5,000.
I requested budget 10. What am I
Yeah,
missing?
it's $5,000 increase.
Yeah, $5,000 increase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The new number is 10,000, right? Am I missing something?
What else could we spend that money for?
No, I don't
Looks good
have,
to me.
actually, that's not even an increase, that is a normal, did we have that in the budget for 2020, didn't we?
We got it this year.
Oh, we got it this year, we asked for it this year, this is just to get it into the budget for next year,
So we only want
5,000,
So
not
it's not
10.
an additional.
It's not, well,
So it's just 5,000.
So I guess my
5,000.
question, here's my question. It's not much money, but I just am curious. So there was zero in there last year, there's 5,000 now, you said you paid for it out of the general fund before. What line item? Where did it come from? Did you decrease that line item 5,000? Because we're moving it over here?
no,
So is
because
this new-
it's
is this
helping
something
alleviate.
new?
Yeah, it's something new, because we can use this for education and get it out of the general fund, because we are always short in the general fund. So this will relieve $5,000.
So you didn't
And we
reduce
didn't always.
You didn't reduce something in the general
No.
fund budget? to-
What
So it's not really
general,
new, it's just kind of taking some of the...
what general fund budget was it in? Training and ed, or
Yeah, we have training and education in
That's
general.
my...
that?
Yeah, training and education in general is what, if we had to send them out, we'd use that. But we're always short, and we're trying to find places to help keep that
So we're not,
going.
yeah, so what we're doing is, we're not really necessarily reducing the general fund.
No,
In the budget.
Right,
But you always go over, so you're trying
right.
to
We're trying to find
decrease the going
places
over.
to help.
Excellent.
The 2020 number was 5,000. With the new 5,000, it's $10,000. So-
I'm just gonna make a
We only
motion
want
for
five.
10,000, I mean...
Second.
$10,000 worth of time talking.
Because I don't think I can use it, you've got to use it for accident reconstruction. I don't think I'd do that much training at one time and certification.
Right, yeah, I'd like...
There's a motion and a second for $10,000, but you have another $5,000
Training
up
and ed.
in other supplies.
Right,
And then you're adding a $5,000, so the request is
Adding.
10,000, you're asking to budget this $10,000.
the budget as a whole.
There's a motion and a second on the floor for $10,000. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion on the next one for 5,000.
Stay at the same motion and a second on the floor for extradition fund. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We got 1156 firearms.
Same motion.
Second.
Number's the same. Motion is second on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Medical inmates, there is no increase, $23,100. There's a
Second.
motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Riverboat money.
Is that going down?
$1,000.
Is our riverboat money going down, and if so, how much?
My understanding that the Madam Auditor will explain is by statute, there's a number that we get. How about I explain it, because she taught me something.
Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead, Madam Auditor.
No, please, I want to...
No, okay, wait.
I want to see if you get it right.
We get a percentage by statute, so we're still gonna get that. Why we didn't get it, our first draw, one draw a year or something in the mid, we didn't get it because of the revenue's down, but we're still gonna get the same amount that we're...
Even if their revenue was down?
How long it's going to take for us to get it.
So here's my question. What generates the revenue for this?
The
You-
casino.
You go to the building,
So
Gambling.
the fact that they're building a new casino, Will that have any impact on this?
Probably.
So,
But right now, we're tied to the formula that is in place, and we're due to get just over $405,000 in this particular fund, and our drawer only came in at $271. So we have a ways to go to catch up, and we haven't yet received the monthly distribution. The state says they're going to do monthly distributions
okay.
based on how much money they take in.
But they're telling us we'll get the full amount at some point in time.
Pardon me?
They're telling us we'll get the full amount.
We'll get 405, but we don't know if that's going to take another month or
2 years.
we don't know.
I'm just wondering if the construction or the creation of new casinos is going to increase this fund for us. Someone asked me that question earlier today, which is why I was wondering.
So Vicki, it's your impression that the casino revenue that we will get is going to be the same?
For this year,
Even if casino revenue is significantly down?
yeah. And that's why the state couldn't disperse all of the money.
If it's not there, it's not there.
Correct.
So how are they going to pay it if it isn't there?
Casinos,
If the
they're waiting for it to
revenues
come in.
they're going to be making monthly distributions until we get
Oh.
caught up. Normally, we only get one draw per year, and it comes
So
in
we-
August.
I think I did pretty good.
You did actually.
Thank you.
So, I'm a bit surprised that that actually is a guarantee, because if the revenue's not there,
That's
where's
exactly
the
right.
state gonna get the money?
They
probably have a little
They're
bit
saying they get-
sitting in the
Must have
We'll
all-
be getting the next draw, and this affects the cities and towns as well.
Yes, it does.
We should be getting the next draw any day now. It usually comes by the middle of the month.
So not to jump topics, because it's still kind of tied into this, what is our cost of longevity? So how much of this fund do we have to cover that first half of longevity?
We didn't use this fund for longevity.
We stopped
For
using
the
it.
first- Right, for the first half, we did not use this fund, we used LIP.
Lit. They have 210,000 budgeted in lit.
How much does longevity cost us for the year?
Usually around 165,000. It does fluctuate.
Out of this fund.
No,
The riverboat.
for distribution of longevity.
So last year, we did not budget against riverboat money at all, or we didn't use riverboat money at all last year for?
We did.
Okay.
We used it as well as LIP.
All right, so back to my question.
Yeah.
How much of this will we have left for longevity? So how short will we be on longevity?
So we budgeted 160,000, right, if it's 410 that we're getting from the
Right.
state. There's 250 here, so there's 160, but what Dan's question is, if we're budgeting 250 out of lit, 160 is coming out of riverboat, what's the total amount we paid in longevity last year? Total amount?
Yeah, around 320 somewhere.
That's my question. Thank you. Well, keep that in mind. So do you have a motion on that, Riverboat?
I do not.
I'll give you one. Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and a second for riverboat at $250,000. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So what other departments are in the task force? Who else is in that?
Portage, Bethel,
Portage and Bethel? No
And-
Chesterton now?
no. And I think we're getting Chesterton, Lake Station.
Yeah, but we're not paying Lake Station. We're not paying
No, but we're
Lake
not
Station.
paying them. But to answer your question, they're gonna be part of it.
Okay.
Lake County's not happy with it, but
I can imagine. All right, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the next one at 2,000,
Second.
1192, sex and violent offenders,
or 3,000, sorry, right?
right? I'm on that. Sex and violent offenders, 23,165 at the same. Motion and a second on the floor. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Sheriff's Pension Fund,
Motion to approve.
looks like it's the same at $250,000. There's a motion to approve on the floor.
Second.
There's a second. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Vehicle inspection, $5,000. There's a motion on the floor.
Second.
Second. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. County user fee, sheriff continuing education, $30,000. It's the same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor for
Aye.
discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Whoa, getting ahead of myself. County user fee sheriff, okay, there's two county user fees, that's why.
Yeah.
Got confused. County user fee, $278,074. Numbers the same, there's a motion on the floor, a second. Further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Yeah, we can talk about that, too.
Drug task force.
This doesn't, this is not a very...
Appears to be an increase of $89,800.
Would you guys be kind enough just to explain the
That
difference?
is a per diem for our, we added a third patrolman, and they get a per
Drug task
diem,
force.
And they get a,
a per diem,
An increase.
and that covers their per diem.
when was the third officer added?
What does he what?
No,
When
one
is
was
it?
added in 2019?
No,
Was it Portage?
it was added when the drug team, when we started the drug team,
Oh,
but
okay.
we added another officer to the drug team. We had two, and now we have three, in our agency,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I think
On
Sylvia
the
was
PC
asking,
Meg
when
team.
did you add the new officer on the?
Well, this was the year before, but it didn't roll over because it got rolled back. And we got it in last year, or the year before, and then when this year came, it rolled back, so it didn't get put in to this fund.
Thank you.
And other changes, maintenance agreement, which is to increase, being passed along. Legal 20,000, and we had 0 for 2020.
This is something I'm not sure we will need. What we are doing is, with the PC Meg team, we have three agencies, us, Portage, and Valpo, and when they work together, they get a forfeiture, they get it split, and then we have to pay the agencies. And Tony is taking that over, Vicki is taking that over, right? She's going to take it over so we don't have to process it through our fund.
So we can do away with it?
I think so.
I think
Might
so,
as well.
don't you think, Vicki? We won't need that at all, right?
20,000?
Yeah.
Mhm.
For the legal fees,
Yeah, for Frank and, yeah, so we won't need that anymore.
Cool.
Because we worked out, trying to work this out and how we're going to segregate the money to all the other agencies. I needed this in order to put the cash in that we forfeiture, and then we give it back to the other two agencies we keep for our team, and then the other two agencies get their quarter, a third, everybody gets a third. Whether they're on that team, if they're on the team and have an active person, even if they're not out there when the money gets hit, they still get a portion because they're part of this team.
Right.
So we were going to have to filter the money through our fund in order to pay them, and now we won't have to.
So we can take the 20,000 off, is that what we're saying
Yeah.
here?
We can also take the 60,000 off, because the
Awesome.
20,000 was to pay the attorney fees. The 60,000 for distributions was for the other agencies.
Oh, I
Excellent.
see.
And since Vicki's going to do that, we won't need that.
Bob, how much is in that fund?
Well, right now, we don't have a lot, because we haven't had any seizures.
State seizures.
State seizures, this is state seizures.
We go through the feds.
We go through the feds for that. This is state only.
So new
So the new bottom line.
That's good. How about this?
So is Frank doing your legal?
He is, but it's going to be processed. We're going to take the money to them, give it to the auditor, count it in, and we're going to tell her we're going to send the court papers on what the court has decided, and then they're going to distribute that money for us.
So what's Frank get paid to do that? Is he a percentage or?
Yeah, he gets...
Yeah, percentage,
He
like
gets,
20?
I can't remember.
it's based on per court order per teacher.
Right.
You'll be hearing more from it at your meeting next week.
Yeah, it used to be the percentage, as I recall, Frank's breakout from Lake County. The higher the amount, the lower the percentage, something like that. They had, the judges had some sort of scale, it was really something.
Yeah,
It's really something to see,
I know.
but, okay.
So the new number is $146,061. The change is $9,800. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second on the drug task force. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Sheriff donations,
Motion approved.
Second.
there's an increase of $8,000, other equipment on there. What's the other equipment, if I may ask, in further discussion? The motion and a second on the floor.
Capital outlay.
Other equipment is just a line item, if we buy canine, it's equipment that, whatever we might need, because donations come in, and if the person that donates to us designates they want it, like we have people that
Yeah.
designate just a canine,
Right.
and then we have the sheriff's camp, and we have a couple others, and I keep track of what everybody wants, even though it's one fund, I break it down, so canine has so much, and then the sheriff's camp has so much, and then I filter out through that, so sometimes we buy equipment.
Makes sense.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Overweight vehicles, sheriff, same number,
Make the
$27,670.
motion.
Motion is second on the floor. For the discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Videotape fee,
Move to approve.
$10,000,
Second.
same number. Motion and a second. For the discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Photo duplicate, same number, $11,000. The motion and a second on the floor. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Porter School Resource Officer, the number's the same, $204,365.
I'll make the motion to get to the question.
Motion on the floor.
Second.
There's a motion, a second on the floor, further discussion.
Is that 100% reimbursable?
You hear that?
We can,
Is,
They're saying yes.
no, we don't want much money.
I can't,
So that's fully paid for by Portage Schools, paid back to the department. Dollar for dollar.
PERF, FICA, healthcare, the whole bit.
Everything, and if we get an increase, salary increase, then I'll go to them and we'll readjust it to cover
What's
that.
the
You got a
contract
motion?
on this? Wasn't there-
Yeah.
I don't know, is there an end date on the contract?
I don't think, what was it? 4 years, but it's
Oh, that's
been
right, you're right,
ongoing
it's 4 years.
Yeah.
Portage is now in the game.
Yeah, and we agreed to that, so.
Everything's good?
Yep, it's good.
Perfect. Motion on the floor, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Virtual Pathways Agreement.
Down.
I thought that died.
Pardon?
I thought that died.
It did, but there's some cash in there, so I've got to use it on something, training. Once I use it up, I can close it out. I would,
Motion to approve.
How dead is it?
Second. There's a motion and a second on the floor, further discussion?
Yeah.
How much is in there?
how much is in there?
20?
It's not,
Well, what,
Mike Justin asked, how dead is it?
It's dead.
that
What's
dead.
the, what's the?
Really dead.
$5,921.
Why are we budgeting for it, why don't we just move out the balance to another fund?
I don't know.
Because if we budget 15,000, we're
Well,
gonna do 15,000?
If I've got
$10,000.
$5,921, we can knock it down to that and leave it in training, and then I can use training, and use that up in training.
So, okay, so your balance is $5,921.68.
Right.
So you've budgeted it for $15,000, and that's not a sustainable number. So,
That's right. I'll just draw
so,
my.
Vicki, if you will scratch everything out on that to zero except training and education and put the balance in there, the $5,000 balance that you took away in
Right.
training and education, and that would zero it
We'll have
out.
to make a
Yeah,
transfer.
and
Is
then
that
next
proper?
year.
Is that
no,
your
because
anticipated
we have-
use of it in,
training,
Training is?
because we are always short on training,
I
all the
wanted to
time.
mess around with it.
So is that a fair?
That's perfect.
Yep. And there's nothing else coming out of it for the remainder of this year.
No, there's nothing coming into it either.
It's dead.
So,
Mr. Rivas,
Yes, sir.
do we need to transfer the balance this year if we're killing it? Whatever's left, move it to training and that next
you want me to
month?
move it, I can move it this year and get it into there.
Or do you have to do a reduction and additional? I mean, how would you even do that?
First, we'll have to be careful about what it says in the ordinance that establishes funds.
Why don't we just leave it right like we just said and figure it out between now and the end of the year? What do you say?
Well, training
Work
for,
its way out.
this was the,
As long as it's zero for next year, I don't care. I just thought if we move it this year, she could use it, that's all.
remember, it's been.
So Vicki, once it goes to zero, you can get rid of that fund completely and there's no revenue, you can just,
Yeah, I'll look at I can't remember, it's been so long, what,
So there's a new number, there's $5,922.
Motion.
The
Second.
motion is second.
No, I disagree. That number sheet needs to be zero. We're not budgeting for next year,
What difference does it make?
because that's $5,000 in the
It's
budget.
either there or it's not. She spends it, she spends it. If she doesn't, it carries over. What difference does it make? Not general fund, not a revenue generating thing. We're not tracking
And you're
funds.
putting it in training and education.
I would, yeah.
I'm okay, whether you're right, I'm okay.
Are you gonna spend any more out of that this year?
I've got a ton of it, that I don't have money to pay for. I can,
We can
in training,
spend it.
if
We
I
can
haven't,
spend
If you're gonna blow it all by the,
I will do
if you're
that.
gonna use it by the end of the year.
I won't blow it.
Councilman Paparad is correct, and we should just zero.
So there's a motion and a second on the floor, wasn't there? So
Just to zero it out.
Yeah,
Just
I
zero.
I can
Yeah.
withdraw my motion.
Withdraw the motion?
Or you
Second
made
withdraw.
it.
I'll withdraw.
A couple
Perfect.
motions ago, I did it.
The number zero,
We can do that, and I'll make sure.
And just spend.
what,
No, we pay our parents different pockets.
what's your pleasure, Mr. Paparad?
Yes, absolutely.
That's fine, that's easy,
Zero.
easier for me.
There's a motion for
zero.
The motion for zero.
Yeah, somebody made a motion.
I insist this motion be allocated to Mr. Paparad.
I'll make the motion.
I'll make the motion for zero for virtual pathways agreements.
Motion
Because
for
if they have
nothing.
to come back.
Sylvia Graham seconds it, zero this budget out. For the discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. That was difficult. Sheriff Highway interdiction,
Move to approve.
$123,000. Motion is second on the floor. To keep it the same for the discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Porter County well, we just did that, didn't we? DEA proceeds grants. Looks like there's a reduction.
That went over to general. I'll make the motion.
$1,000. We moved something to the general.
Well, that was the canvas.
Huh?
The
That
camera.
was the canvas. That was on the equipment.
Motion is second on the floor for $125,000. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We need to take a half-hour break.
I think we're the only ones
Started.
tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
You can go home now.
Jail, general fund.
Oh, no, that's right, we got, never mind, I'm here. I
We're
thought we
just-
went through all the general. You just went through the sheriff's general, okay.
I'll make the motion on the general fund because of Tiburon, Liberon, radiation, whatever the rest of them are called.
Second.
The only increase.
I have no idea what Mr. Paparad's motion is.
His motion is irrelevant to what's in front of us.
We're doing the jail general, right? We got an increase because of Tiburon and iTouch and Hobart and whatever
That's
else.
just all the contracts.
Why do I see the same thing?
Huh?
What,
Oh, I do.
$7,686?
No.
No,
Jail
I got.
fund.
The jail fund is the same, general.
$3,890,099.
I guess I'm one page ahead of you. I apologize, Mr. Rivas.
There's an
I was
apology
wondering
from
about
Bob
that.
Motion. There's a motion and a second
that's what we're asking.
for the general fund jail
I just-
at $3,890,099. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. County corrections, community corrections, whichever one it is.
Move to approve.
Corrections, $149,000 is the same. The motion is second on the floor. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Public safety,
Move to approve.
data center. Motion is second, to keep the number the same, $263,200. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Inmate processing fee, there's an increase in this, it looks like, a little bit in salaries and
Let's talk
medical
about
life
the
insurance
difference.
and building and structures, no, that's, yeah.
Inmate
No, that's-
processing?
Inmate processing fee.
I don't have anything increased in it.
You've got, under medical life insurance, you've got like a 22,319.
It's the same.
That's what's this year.
So it's for 2021 requested?
So when we look at what's in front of us, adopted 2020, it's zero. So I guess the question is, when we're looking at going from 0 to 22,319,
Yeah, you're putting-
what did we move? Or is that a scrivener's error?
This is, everything that's already this year, inmate processing.
Yeah, but it was additional. That was money for that.
It is,
The money.
Additional, that's what we're at.
So we did an additional into this line item during the year. And what was that for again?
Oh, you're talking about a grant. You're not talking about
It
inmate
was
processing.
a part of the grant that wasn't part of her salary, but wasn't covered by the grant.
All right, all I care about is, will this
Oh.
fund sustain that?
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm okay with it. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second on the increase
I
of,
think we already had a motion.
inmate processing fees.
Oh, no, we
Further
didn't.
discussion?
You're right.
For Jessica, yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Well, so hold on one second. I think Mr. Paparad would like me to
Can we
back.
circle back to 4907?
Bob would like to go back to 4907 briefly, public safety.
Public safety, what does that cover? Where does that fund come from? What feeds it?
The phone, the inmate phone
Okay.
system that we have,
Okay?
that we generate money from,
Yep,
it goes
yep.
into there,
The collect call thing, because you had $500,000 sitting there, if I'm reading this right.
yes.
And you're only budgeting or 260,000.
Looks like the receipts, though, are about 165 a year, but,
Yeah,
I mean, they're burning into their balance.
that's because there's
That's true.
less,
Are we burning into the balance, or is there?
the less guys making phone calls.
Pardon?
There's less people making phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have less inmates.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's what's feeding this.
It's going back.
I'm just wondering about, because you have the equipment rentals, could we throw some of them cameras in there? I know it's not jail-related, but,
The cameras,
I don't know, I'm just throwing that out.
body cameras?
Yeah,
It's about
something.
$60,000.
A vest, if you gotta buy vests for the jailers. I'm just making a statement.
Bob sees a cash
Sounds like
balance.
something
he's
might come
probably
out of
gonna
public
laugh.
I know.
Bob is famous for finding out what money I have. and taking it.
He found it.
Well, you see what we've used with a lot of our money. We've bought a lot of stuff, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
No, I'm not, yeah, I'm just, pennies add up to dollars.
So, I mean, out of that, your office supplies, law books, telephone in there, well, obviously, that makes sense. Maintenance agreement. Well, we'll move past it, we'll keep going, Bob.
Yeah, well, I'll just, we get near the end and,
Bob's pointed out, there's
It's
a fund.
definitely a talking point, Bob.
Good catch.
It is.
Kind of like the time you took the sheriff's shooting range money away.
Yeah. it was last election, so.
I didn't forget, though.
Neither did I.
I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, city commissioner.
Okay, why did I even mention?
Oh, because you wanted this? We know why you mentioned things, Dan. All right, we're on
We're
the,
on to grants.
SCAP grant,
Move to approve.
$8,000, it's the same, there's a motion.
Second.
And a second to approve it. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Adult Community Corrections, looks like there's an increase of $41,804. A new caseworker added in February. Looks like the biggest amount there.
Is that a grant?
A little FICA increase, a little medical life insurance increase, because of probably the new caseworker.
So this is something we moved in during the year, right? Correct?
You got that?
Yeah, we've got, we've added in, from a part-time to a full-time, Jessica, into that. This is a grant we get from the DOC.
Right.
So we don't make any changes unless they approve it.
Gotcha.
I mean, we can't change anything in there.
You need a motion?
I do.
Second, I'll make a motion.
Second.
With the increase, I'm sorry.
Motion.
And I'll second it too.
There's a motion by Bob Paparad and a second by Sylvia Graham. For the discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Adult Probation and Community Corrections pretrial.
Same thing, a grant?
Same number, it's a grant for
Yeah.
$60,000.
Second.
$67,017. Motion and a second for the discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Sheriff's Garage. So Sheriff's Garage is the
Same.
same.
Move to approve.
Second. There's a motion and a second for further discussion. We might as well lay it out there a little bit for ourselves. The sheriff's coming for an additional out of this one next Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Out of the sheriff's garage?
Yes, out of this fund, he's coming for an additional next week for $35,000.
For the running
I
road.
believe.
We're in the negative, we have bills we can pay.
So are
So
you?
we're budgeting the same amount for
Yes, we
2021?
need to budget more.
Well, we're getting new cars, so we're hoping,
We don't think we're gonna be in the same spot as we are
Okay,
this year.
got it.
there's a lot of older cars now, and this is
We're
just...
getting rid of 15 older ones. and-
I'd say we just keep it the same.
It'll be fine.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Just
Hey, Sheriff,
lay it out.
I got a question about the cars. Do you get a better, an extended warranty or anything
I
like
might
that?
not even need
But
them.
do they give you any kind
Just
of
because in
warranty
December we
on the
keep
hybrid?
the hybrid?
scrambling at the last...
If you take them in, you're gonna spend a
Yeah,
capload of money
we
to
don't get
fix
bills
it.
all the time from people.
I mean, they're just stupid expensive to work on, that's all.
I don't know, we did get an extended warranty on those cars?
With the battery on them, I think it was an 8 or 10 year, we'll get rid of them before that.
The battery's like 150,
Yeah,
and we'll get rid of them before that.
okay. Hybrids are expensive to work on.
It's a nice hooded sweatshirt, Tim, I don't have one of those.
Hybrid?
General fund,
Expensive, too.
No, we won't.
what's that?
No.
Oh, the jacket?
No.
Yes.
No.
Aviation glasses?
No.
Jacket to fly the...
Tom
The
Cruise.
drone?
I get to pick them out, and I'll get you one.
I think
Yeah,
Not gonna-
I can imagine what...
Not gonna be
Hey,
left.
Sheriff, I think we ought to go out with that Facebook on donations for the vests, if we can engrave our name on the back. Witten, that's two, Dan, you get one of me, you get, you know.
Has a good ring to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're waiting, we're stalling because there's one budget left, and it's been
Yeah.
a pleasure tonight, so we don't want to leave yet.
No, we haven't been here 2 hours. What are we doing? Let's take a break.
I get the general fund.
Take a break.
Federal DMC prisoners, is this the famous one we're talking about?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, 12.
We've got an increase of $7,680.
That's because I hold it, Timberline, I-Touch, Lieberman, radiation, you know, them guys.
You've got it, that's the reason.
Contracts, the only...
What's the balance in this fund?
Oh, hang on, lots.
Yeah, find that.
$1,300,000.
Yeah.
That's what Vicki says, $1,300,000.
It's part of
So,
the general fund.
I know.
Oh, in the general fund.
I know.
It's buried in that.
Well, $1,300,000, so.
I know.
I'll make the motion.
There's a
With
motion.
the increase, now it's on timely on this one. I'm right on
Spend it
time.
if you need
There's
it.
there's a motion and a second for the increase at $567,641. Further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are done with the sheriff
Just so you know, I
on
keep total track.
That's what you do.
reading. So, Vicki, what do we do here?
We call it a night, the party's over.
What was-
the hit?
Sheriff, thanks for making it.
Yes, thank you, I know you're in
Just about the
Indianapolis,
lights and
thank you.
sirens?
I threatened him if he didn't show up. I did.
I do appreciate you making it back.
Even though you're disappointed by the governor.
Well, I'm not. They're gonna work it out.
Something you want to discuss? What happened, what was it?
Today.
Secret police business.
Oh, what'd you do?
And you don't have the decoder ring.
She's asking what you did today.
What was the
He
visit?
knows, we met with the governor's people about
He
mental
said
health
in
in
time,
jails,
so, yeah.
Huh?
He said
in
it.
our jail too. So it's gonna be good. They've assured us
They assured us what?
that they're gonna have a plan to, basically get money into the mental health facilities in the state, so we can issue. They can't pay the people like in Cass County and Logansport, they can't get anybody to work there. So, I mean, it's a big problem for us.
Well, I think, as you know, I don't have to tell you, mental health needs to be addressed specifically with the jail, right?
It's a big problem in our jails.
Yep. So it sounds like
Big
that's
problem.
what you went down there today to
Oh, yeah.
discuss.
Right.
So, appreciate it. You have always been proactive about stuff. So, what's that? Yeah, so Vicki, we increased our general fund by how much today?
Just over 50,125.
Oh, we'll find that.
50,000,
That's pretty good.
125, that is not too bad.
We'll find that.
We do appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So,
very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Someone asked, where
Talk to you
is
soon.
with
Thanks, Dave.
longevity? If we
Thank
do
you.
not
Hey,
get
sure.
any more longevity money, we're gonna be short
If we can use
almost
that training and ed for your guys.
based on the projection.
That what I figured.
So we will be back here Thursday for second reading for the prosecutor. So I'll entertain a motion to
Well, the
adjourn.
good news is if we grant your request, we don't have to come back for any of these other ones.
No, we'll be done. We'll be done. What's that?
Oh, no,
Motion?
time, yeah.
Motion. The motion.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, Greg? Yeah? No? Exactly. For adjournment? Yes.